everybody. Welcome to Talking Books with Tanisha. I have a really beautiful book behind me today that I want to share with you. And I love how it's laid out because I feel like this is one of those books that deserves a little bit of extra attention. I had a summer where I just went book shopping, which is not unique, except for what I'm feeling right now is that almost every book that I've chosen has been like the most exciting and best book ever. So it makes it easy to talk about them, but it also makes it really hard to stop a book and to end a book and to get to the end and realize that this is the end of the story. But I like it also because it means it's the beginning to be able to share it and to talk about it with other people. My name is Tanisha. Welcome to Talking Books with Tanisha. This book is a beautiful book, like literally beautiful. You can see behind me, this is the deluxe edition that the book that I'm talking about. And I just happened to be able to get this copy um, at the local bookstore. But I also have been standing in line waiting for this book at Comic-Con. Simon and Schuster had a booth, which is not unique, except for that they had some really good deals where they were buy three, get three free, or they had these bundles of books that you could get. They also had a panel. And this is one of the books that they were showing, and also one of the books you could buy for buy three, get three. And this one went really, really quickly. So I wasn't able to get it from them, but I've been thinking about this book ever since. And I walked into a bookstore and I saw it on the shelf and I grabbed it because I knew I wanted to read it. And this happens to be a very deluxe edition, which I didn't realize. I thought it was the only edition of the book. But this is a book that has a pearlized cover, both front and back. Also, when you open up inside, it has really pretty, like colorful end paper, both in the front and also in the back. The edges are so beautiful. I don't know if you can see the edges right there. Look how beautiful that book is. Like as you're reading it, you have a chance just to kind of like look and see how beautiful it is. And one of my favorite parts about this is it has a built-in bookmark. So the bookmark goes right inside the book and it keeps your pages. And it has a couple of extra pieces in the book that are not shared in the original edition. So if you like epilogues or like kind of going a little bit deeper into different perspectives of the characters, this edition, this book itself with this cover has more than the other editions do. So I saw all that to say, welcome to talking about love in other words. This book is by Christina Lauren. Christina Lauren, I first actually found them through the Disney series, the kind of romance series that they have for YA. Um, like Happily Ever After, I think it's called. And these stories were all about taking this Disney princesses and kind of turning them into these love stories. And maybe I'll do a show about that one of these days. But you actually heard me talk about this one. And they also wrote that book. So they wrote the book. It was called, let's see, I think it's called Tangled Up in You. And it was really about the Rapunzel story. So I didn't realize who Christina Lauren was. They actually are two people. They're best friends. They're authors that write together. It's two different people. Christina and Lauren are their names, and they write these books together. And they've written many books together, and they're really good at it. Like you really can't tell dramatically, like whose turn it is as they're telling the story. This book is super sweet. I'll give you a quick little review of it. So the main character name is Macy. Macy lost her mother as she was younger. Her father had a list that the mother had left for Macy. Macy's mom died of cancer. So the mom had making a list of like, here are all the things I want you to remember as you're raising Macy in my absence. And one of them was to take her on adventures. And one of the adventures the father thought would be really cool was to buy a vacation house. And so he bought a vacation house kind of in the wine country in the Bay Area, Northern California. And in this house was a little room. In her room was a beautiful closet that he turned into a library. One of Macy's favorite things to do was to read. When they had a chance to go in and kind of look at the house, inside that closet, before it turned into a beautiful library that her father made for her, was a boy named Elliot. He was about 13, I think they were 13 years old, 14 when they met. And that sparked a friendship that lasted over time, but also there was a really serious falling out. And in that serious falling out, what they thought was the best thing ever for them to be both close as friends and maybe a little bit more was destroyed. And they went 11 years without talking to each other until they bumped into each other in a coffee shop. And then everything started changing. It's a beautiful story. It talks about grief, it talks about loss, it talks about love, it talks about friendships, it talks about innocence, it talks about intimacy. Um, And it's just a really fun, really interesting, really engaging read. Christina Lauren does a really good job of pulling the readers in and making you want to see what's going to be next. It was really easy to want to keep going, keep going, and keep going. Um, and so there were just so many things in these books, in this book that I really appreciated. I think you're going to like this book because if you like books that start with like two friends who just really start growing up together and start slowly realizing that maybe there's more than a friendship there. And the friendship is based on pure, like just love and care and admiration for each other. It's a very sweet book in that way, where the only drama that's happening is drama that is misunderstood. But also, there's some pretty serious situations where they have to kind of reconcile what happened in the past and how it impacted them in the future and how it impacted them moving forward. When they left each other, they were 18 years old, 18 and 19. When they find each other again, they're 28 and 29, almost 30. And so there's a lot of things that have happened in that time. And we get to explore all of it. The authors do a really great job of like saying, here's what's happening right now as they bump into each other and kind of re-meet. And then they take us back into time to we can start seeing the develop of like their friendship, what happened to their relationship over time. And so each chapter goes from like present to then, present to then. And so we have a chance to go back and forth through time, but it's really seamless. You feel like you're on two different stories at one time that really culminate in a really beautiful ending. I loved this book. It's called Love in Other Words. I hope you're having a chance to grab one, get one, or read one, or borrow one, however you get your books. Definitely recommend. I'm so excited about the books I'll be sharing with you this season. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you're thinking about getting gifts for people this holiday season, think about getting books. I might even do an episode just about talking about the gifts of what kind of books might be really fun for gifts. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Remember, if nothing else, please keep reading. Have a beautiful day.